Good evening or good morning or good late night, depending what part of the world that you're joining us from. You're here because you are what we call a person of influence. You're a person that's either been successful in the past, or possibly you're a great social media influencer. Maybe you're a person of influence in your career, such as a teacher, coach, pastor. And bottom line is you've been hand selected to have a higher level conversation about, a great business platform that we're getting ready to launch 3.0 on, and it's going to be one of those things that once it goes, it will never look back. So very happy to have all of you guys join us today. I'm Nick from originally Grand Rapids, Michigan. I live in Miami, Florida, dad of two, entrepreneur of many different business models, but on the journey of the last couple decades was able to create, one of those unicorns where we did a couple billion in sales. We created a style of marketing called challenge-based marketing 15 years ago that didn't exist. And, that unicorn led me to a relationship with a gentleman by the name of Terry LaCour, the founder of LaCour Enterprises. Terry owns an ecosystem of companies that services 150 other companies. And my company was one of those. And I fell in love with the way that company operated, the way they took care of us, how professional they were. They were just a joy on every level. And I ended up taking my largest company and combining it with a company from the Core Enterprises. And that company still today does, over 9 figures a year in sales. But fast forward to a year and a half ago, I had a conversation with Terry LaCour, and he said, "Look, I've got an idea that I believe is the greatest idea that I've ever had." Terry's quote. And, I need some very talented people that have the ability to lean in and take this huge vision and turn it into a reality. And P.S., it's going to be extremely difficult to pull it off. The vision is massive. It's going to be something that you're going to see a lot of, roadblocks and failures on the way. And are you ready to stand up to that type of challenge? And there was several of us that said yes. I took on the president's role. Rod Larson was the first gentleman there, the CEO and our operator. Right around the same time I said yes. Ron Williams, our chief visionary officer, said yes. And between the four of us, and also a couple really awesome, investors, we had done over $10 billion in sales collectively between us in our prior ventures. And now we're coming together to execute, this very difficult idea called Shoply. Well, let's talk about Shoply. What is Shoply? Well, Shoply, first of all, is centered in an industry that Accenture is the largest business consulting firm in the world. Accenture says will be $1 trillion industry this year, and will be the fastest industry to go to $1 trillion. And that industry is called social commerce.